So I wanted to talk today about your first million in crypto investing. See, the first million is the hardest, but absolutely doable for some. And the reason I say for some is it depends on how well you understand the principles of investing, because they absolutely still apply to cryptocurrency. And we happen to be in a place that the technology is changing not just one country, but most all of the countries, which also gives people the opportunity from any country you're in to participate in this. Now, are many going to make it rich? Yes, many are, but many out of billions. So the question is, how do you increase your chances in order to do really well? How do you make that first million in crypto? Well, I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts that have helped me be successful. Now, I did have a head start in that I've been involved in investing for over 20 years. I did go to business school. I absolutely loved economics and delved into economics. That's always been my thing. Economics and understanding why we as human beings do the things that we do, because we're very unique creatures, very emotional in our decisions. And so when I saw cryptocurrency back in 2017, at first I didn't understand it very well. I did understand that my friend had invested 15,000 and made 165,000. That is what caught my attention. But like many, I then bought my first investments. I bought the exact same altcoin that he was holding after it had pumped a whole bunch, and bought high and then watched it retrace. Bought some more when it retraced, but I had no idea when I was new how to evaluate good projects so that I could begin to employ the principles of investing that had made me successful in the other types of investing that I did. Well, you're always bad before you're good, I frequently say. So how do you get good? Well, there's a number of ways, and I do share with you on this channel all the time these principles of investing, and through repetition we learn. And so that's why I cover them over and over again. So if you've heard some of this before, it's a repetition that really makes it sink in. Now, I can't say that I created these principles of investing. I didn't. I learned them from people that were smarter than me, and I noticed their results. I guess one of my mentors once said, if the person you're talking to that's giving you advice doesn't have the lifestyle that you want, don't take advice from them. And that holds true, because when we take advice from broke people, we get their results. When we take advice from successful people and we follow their advice, we tend to get their results. So that was highly interesting to me, what my mentor said. So my journey in crypto started in 2017, and obviously the first goal is to make your first million in crypto, and then how do you get to 10 million from there? Well, it starts with starting small. Now, some of you, 1 million doesn't even seem possible, so you might set a smaller goal, like your first 50,000 in crypto. And is it attainable? Well, the better you stay true to the principles of investing, yes, it's doable. Will all of you do it? Well, it depends, right? How emotional are we in our decision making, and can we step back in order to make different decisions? And also, can we learn to be patient enough to let things come to fruition? That's a big question. So my journey started in 2017. Really, it took me about 12 months of immersion into this to really start to piece things together, and starting to understand how to identify a good project versus a mediocre project versus a bad project. And some of that is just arbitrary, right? It's our feelings on it. It's sometimes hard to tell. And sometimes you see all the right components and you have a strong feeling about things, and sometimes it's just a guess. Well, what I like to do is, number one, for reaching good results, is to buy low. So how do you buy low? Well, I want to share this with you today because there's one sector within the crypto space that is absolutely boomed. Can you guess what sector that is? Crypto gaming, right? It's coming to fruition, at least part of the vision, but there's still a long ways to go. The only game that's really fully played to earn right now is Axie Infinity, and it's been going crazy because it's been getting actual player adoption around the world, which has been driving its marketplace items up and its token up tremendously. But just understand this runs in waves and cycles. So for me, when I see this kind of wave and cycle, this doesn't indicate this is a buy point for me. This indicates that this is a sell point for me with anything having to do Axie Infinity. Now, unfortunately, if you own the token or you own the items and you're selling now, you might not end up selling at the very highest price because you never know where the top is. But for the past month and a half, I have been selling some of the items that I still own from the Axie Infinity universe related to land items. I have already sold all my land that I bought 2 years ago. And so for me, this is a sell opportunity, not a buy opportunity. Now, I did cover some very good games that I am excited about their futures. And in particular, Star Atlas and Illuvium I covered in the last 2 days. And I like the teams behind them, and I like the games. Now, does that mean it is a buy price for me on like their token? Well, Star Atlas is about to launch. It's coming out through Paid Network. It's coming out through some other things. And even though I have some paid tokens, I've been so busy the last week, I haven't even submitted for the whitelist to possibly get an allocation on that. So it's likely not going to happen for me on the IDO, on Paid's IDO for Star Atlas, even though I hold the requisite number of tokens. And so I would absolutely buy Star Atlas's token if I could get it anywhere within like 4x or lower of the IDO price. Beyond that, can't. I just don't chase green cancels. That's one of my principles that has helped me with exactly what I'm sharing with you, which is the focus of making your first million, or if you can't picture it, even picturing your first 50,000, or if you can't picture that, your first 5,000. You need to have a goal that you're reaching for. All right. So if I'm saying that even though the gaming sector is hot and some of these projects will be really hot and are ones to watch, that doesn't mean the timing's right to buy. See, I bought my Axie Infinity stuff 2.5 years ago when it was not in the hype cycle. It wasn't. You know, the land chests, which if you had spent $4,000 on Mystic land chests back then, do you realize that with the value of those and the items included, you'd probably be able to have about $4 million today? Absolutely. Now, were they in the hype cycle 2.5 years ago? They were not. All they were was a promise with actually some decent backers behind them. Animoca Brands had backed them. That was kind of my key indicator that this is going to probably have a strong chance to succeed. And they absolutely did. Now, did it happen in a year? No, actually, my chests, what I had bought for the first year, were worth less than I had paid for them. But then over the following year, they increased in value some. And then over the next year, they went absolutely crazy. So how does this apply to you? Number one, don't chase green candles. Even though the gaming sector is super hot, things come in waves. Don't know. Maybe this is the best price it'll ever be available. I'm not making that chance on, say, Illuvium's token. Loved the interview with Kieran Warwick. He is solid. He has the right connections. I don't have any doubts that his game is going to be successful. Am I buying the token for it now? No. If I could play the game, I'd absolutely, in any spare time I had, be playing the game and trying to earn some of their alluvials and really getting a feel for it, because I love where the gaming space is going. And even though it's hot right now, it doesn't mean like I'm covering them, because I want us to be fully aware of what all the projects are out there, so that when we see them come out of the hype cycle and that prices are way down, that's when I buy like crazy. Now, I can't buy like crazy if I don't already have a feeling for which projects I'm most interested in, which is why I was covering those ones. And I love them. So just because I'm covering a project, that doesn't mean I'm saying I like the price of where I buy it. It means I like the project. They're in the hype cycle right now. That's a concern. Now, what is out of the hype cycle? Ecosystem projects that I'm still very bullish on, and they're not in the hype cycle, just like gaming projects and NFTs were out of the hype cycle 3 months ago, and now they're squarely in the middle of it. So ecosystem projects, launch pads, a lot of the launch pads, their prices are way down. Some of these ecosystem projects, their prices are way down. Now, some of the Cardano ecosystem projects took a jump and then a little bit of a retracement. I think they still have a long ways to go, because really Cardano is going to be on everyone's mind, is my guess, in the coming month. And so I'm bullish on that, and I like to buy when things are outside the hype cycle, and it's very, very early on in the awareness cycle for the Cardano ecosystem, in my opinion. So I'm bullish on that. I mean, there's so much that I'm bullish on that the prices are still very exciting to me. Now, it's going to come a time, and it might be in 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, that it is going to be really difficult to identify which projects are still at a really good deal, because I remember that problem in March, because January and February had been so bullish. Now, right now, there's still a lot of things at great prices, at least in my personal opinion, and I'm very excited about that. So, buying low leads you to selling high. So I did want to use Axie Infinity as kind of our guideline, because when Axie Infinity was outside the hype cycle, that's when the good deals were. Now you see it fully square in the hype cycle. In fact, it's gone through 3 hype cycles in the past year. And so by the end of this third one, the prices are extremely high. Perfect. Another take profit zone. So if you buy low, it gives you the opportunity to buy high or sell high. Now, if you're buying high, like you are on some of the gaming systems right now. Now, Illuvium, I don't know what to think about their price right now. It's not terribly high, but it's high. They set up a DAO, and the way they set it up, that like there's real value in holding those Illuvium tokens, at least as I see it. I'm not a financial advisor. That definitely is not financial advice. I'm just a crypto investor myself, and I see value in holding the Illuvium token, but I don't know how to evaluate its prices. I definitely know it's not at a steal of a deal. So for now, I'm passing on it, waiting till I see an opportunity or a time where I'm like, that is a steal of a deal, and I know that the price is undervalued. And that may never come, but it almost always does. So what is out there that's a steal of a deal? Well, there's lots of them, like these ecosystem projects and others. And I continue to cover mostly those. Most of what I cover is out of the hype cycle. Hurts my YouTube stats? That's fine, because what I really need from all of you is the loyalty, and earning your loyalty that you know I'm covering projects that I believe in. Now, you understand that I'm just a human being. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know every home run, and everything I look at isn't going to be a home run, even if I like it, because I'm human too. But these results have worked really well for me, this methodology that I share and the principles of investing, and I imagine it will work really well for some of you, because I'm not sharing stuff that I created. I'm sharing stuff that are principles that are long-term. So, you've got your goal of what you want to attain. You're understanding buy low, sell high, buy what's out of the hype cycle. What else are you looking for? Well, I stay completely away from meme coins, because really they're like pulling the slot machine. And if I want to gamble, which I don't, I would go down and pull the slot machine, or I would play blackjack or something with higher chances than a slot machine. But I don't like gambling. I like investing in a space where there is opportunity for growth. And so meme coins and stuff, what you're hoping for is that somebody down the road will want your meme coins more than you do, and so you're really counting on that. It's not like there's a project that's actually providing a product or service on the other end that makes the world a better place. The ones that are providing value or service that makes the world a better place, those are the type that I like to invest in. So the projects like Moon Rocket or Safe Moon, those type of like pump and dumps, or Binance Smart Chain, like buy this token because it's going to be worth so much more. Well, what do? Well, nothing. They give 5% to charity. Those, I stay away from that sector completely. And I look for projects with like development teams behind them that are known, that you can talk to, that you can interview, that you can ask questions, that you can say what's your value proposition of what you bring into the world, and it all makes sense, right? Gaming is huge already. Illuvium, Star Atlas, they're providing a game that I think people will want to play. An area where if you work and you play the game and do certain tasks, that you accumulate value, which is then sellable, which is what makes it play to earn. Some of the other projects that I love to death, like WanChain and Cardano, they're providing value by creating an ecosystem where their token is tradable for other things and solving problems. In WanChain's case, they're creating cross-bridge compatibility between all the major chains out there, but you can also think of them kind of like a layer 2 solution, or a side chain to almost all the chains, because essentially that's kind of what they have become, at least in my view, as well as they're creating their own ecosystem that you can through Wanland and Zookeeper and WanSwap, they have their own DEX, or like Uniswap version called WanSwap on their ecosystem, that you can swap between tokens. You can then earn some yield through Zookeeper, as well as you can lend and borrow on Wanland. So they're creating their own ecosystem, even though they're more like a layer 2 bridge. And then Cardano, very well. What other ecosystems? Well, absolutely bullish on Solana. Extremely bullish on Serum. Now, Serum comes to me from one of my friends. This is Buğra, and he is out of Turkey and has a channel in Turkish with over 150,000 subscribers. He's got a English channel where he's got 11,000 plus subscribers or more. Keeps growing. It's fairly new. But, he brought that one to my attention when we did a live stream a couple days ago on his channel, and I think he's exactly right on that. Also, you may have noticed that Star Atlas is integrating Serum's DEX right into it. That's a big deal. That's really cool. Smart move on Star Atlas's side. What else is bullish out there? Well, let me just share with you my screen. You've heard me talking a lot. I want to give you some visuals. So Star Atlas we covered, Illuvium. Axie Infinity, it's just so you know that when you bet, and I didn't put all my eggs in this basket, I only put about 4,000. Now, it didn't make me $4 million because I took profit on the way up, but let me just share with you, the profits were sizable. And a lot of those profits that I've harvested over the last year have rolled into other things that have made me money. So directly, it didn't make me $4 million. Indirectly, it did very well for me. And I still have some items that I'm still selling that I continue to get drips of money out of that I then invest in other things. Some other things on my mind is really where DeFi is going. And it's amazing to me what DeFi is turning into and the kinds of services. See, in some ways, DeFi is getting rid of banks, or at least changing the nature of what they are. And you're getting these platforms where you can earn interest and yields that were completely unbelievable before. I mean, you can probably, whatever country you're in, go to the bank and find out what your yield is if you deposit 100,000 US there. And it's probably under 2%. Well, why would you ever need to do that when there's so many opportunities in the world that we're in? And so one of the ones that I'm very bullish on is Albit. And this is their site, albit.io, and you can I do have a login link below, and if you hold their token and you hold up to 25% of your portfolio in their token, you can then put some of your money into their superchargers. Now, can be Cardano supercharger, it can be a USD supercharger, but their superchargers earn above average yields. I mean, really incredible yields. And so this is the direction that banking replacements are going. And I'm a big fan of Albit and the Freeway token. So one of the projects that, in my opinion, I've been buying when it's anywhere near a penny or lower is Freeway token. And I have a link down below so that you can get an account. Also, you can then, from there, create a referral link if you have other people that would be interested in it. And you don't have to use my link at all. Don't feel like that there's that obligation. It does benefit the channel, but feel free to do whatever makes sense to you. I will talk about Albit more in the coming weeks. I'm really bullish on them, and I've been in talks with them for 3 months because I really want to get a good feel on how solid they are. And I didn't start talking to them till this last month because I'm really careful on what I bring to you, even though, I know none of this is financial advice, but I only like to bring out what I feel are top quality projects. I especially like to bring them out when they're tokens I feel are at a great buy that I'm buying them, a good enough buy that I'm loading up. So, wink, wink, that's why Freeway token is hot on my mind. Another one that I've talked about a number of times is Meld. Now, Meld, I recently agreed to an ambassadorship with them. I don't fully understand what ambassadorship means, other than I'm really excited about the project and what they're doing with DeFi. Now, unfortunately, you can't go out and buy Meld tokens at any exchange. There is a way that you can start earning them. You can delegate your Cardano through the Yoroi or Daedalus wallet to, I think, Meld 7. Most of their other staking pools are full. There might be small openings, but you might as well to Meld 7. Now, know that when you delegate your Cardano to them, what they're doing essentially is they're taking the Cardano rewards you would have gotten, so you'll see that their fees are 100%. And do verify with their Telegram channel that it is their pool, because some copycats came in there, put the fees to 100%. I think Meld 3 or 4, one of them is actually a scam pool that's not theirs. So you can go their Telegram channel and verify what pools are theirs for sure, because the last thing you want to do is be delegating. Now, they can't steal your Cardano directly, not the ones you have staked in your wallet. They can steal your Cardano rewards. Meld wouldn't do that, but the fake pool that is out there that has their name. So I think they reserved Meld 1, 2, 3 or something, and then somebody thought, and they created like Meld 4 or one of the pools. But Meld 7 is theirs. I confirmed it in a special ambassador chat that I got access to that I've been getting some good updates from. And, my time is limited, so I'm not, taking on a lot of things extra outside of trying to provide value to you and learn and make the connection so I can bring more information to you that's better. And that's why I agreed to the ambassadorship, is I felt like this was one of the projects I'm really excited about that I think has staying power and an amazing team and will be around for a long time. So I was totally excited about an opportunity to get better information more directly, and that has been what it's led to. Unfortunately, the last week and a half I've been completely slammed with a number of things, and so I haven't even been able to dig into all the information going on in that ambassadors chat to share some of that with you. But as I get it, I will share it with you. Why am I so bullish on Meld? Well, so as we're changing the way, DeFi is changing the way banking works, and I know DeFi right now is out of the hype cycle. That is absolutely why I'm talking about it today. I don't chase the hype cycle. Now, I shared with you some projects that are in the hype cycle, and that's great. Be aware of exactly what they work, because they will come out of the hype cycle. And then what's funny is gains attract more gains for people that are new, and most people chase green candles. That's why I share with you, don't do that. What's funny is red candles people sell at. So when they come out of the hype cycle and there's a big retrace, it often dumps much farther than it should. And so then people panic and sell with this fear that it's going to zero, which is what creates the good opportunity. So I'm keeping an eye on both of those because I want to pick up a lot of their tokens. I would love to buy a ton of them, but I want to buy them at a good price. So, where's my mind? Well, it's on other things that are still at a good price. Now, I know Meld is coming up. You can't buy their token right now. You can start earning it through delegating to one of their pools, your Cardano. And so I think you can delegate. Where I was at was Meld 7, and then they take the Cardano rewards that you would be earning, and they essentially are giving you Meld tokens as a reward in return. Really cool setup. It's a way that you can participate, in essence, into their pre-sale, and I love it. They were the first to do the initial stake pool offering, and I love what they're doing. Their leadership is top notch. There's some things going on behind the scenes, some announcements they'll be making in the coming months that are freaking amazing. So when I put projects on my list of ones that will be top for the long term, obviously Star Atlas earned that. I have a lot of FOMO on Star Atlas, but I'm not going to FOMO in. Illuvium, tons of FOMO here, but I don't FOMO in. I override those emotions with logic. Axie Infinity, well, great. It's been doing tremendously. I've owned that for 2.5 years and still selling some items from there. Even though I love what they've done. I can't play the game. It's not my gameplay style. I don't like playing the game. To me, it's work. But they were the first to really nail this play-to-earn mechanism, and what they've done is absolutely groundbreaking and been a huge success. Albit and Freeway Token, love what they're doing. And then Meld. Now, there are many others, and if you haven't already joined my Telegram chat, join my Telegram chat. I strongly suggest it. There's some very smart people in our community, and I love that part about it. Now, if you're posting like spam messages or you're posting like scam stuff in there and that happens, and me or my admin see it, we will have to not only delete the message, but ban you from the group, because we're trying to keep a good community in there. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and like it. I like to think I provide a fresh take on things. Now, investing is my background. Economics and psychology of people behavior, that is my background. And so part of the reason I started the channel, and there were several, but one of them is I wasn't getting the kind of information I wanted from people on YouTube. Now, I would get different types of hype or different things, and every person has their strengths. So I tend to resonate with people that would do more in-depth analysis on projects, especially those who would, many of them had the connections to reach out to many of the biggest projects and get information. But I wasn't getting the depth that I preferred. And so one of the things I wanted to bring you in this channel is hopefully that. Now, as I've grown the channel, it's helped me make better and better connections behind the scenes, so I can try to bring you more and more value over time, and I continue to look at ways that I can bring you the kind of value that I had always hoped for. And there will be many things coming down the road as I continue to grow and make connections, so stick with us on this journey. I also intend very much to try to find ways to make this fun, and so I've got a plan of staff that I will bring on at certain metrics so that we can do things to make it fun. And you say, well, Jay Murph, I don't need you to make it fun, just continue to bring me good analysis. Well, possible we can do both, because I hope so, because if you understand that in order for you to make your first million, it may or may not happen this cycle. But if you really absorb these principles and you stick with them for the long term, these principles that I share, and I'm only covering some of them right now, it will make you the kind of money that you're looking for. And that doesn't usually happen, though, in one cycle, because you're always bad before you're good, right? So if you really want to be good, give yourself the time and room it takes to become good. And so that means this bull run, which I still think we have plenty of bull run left, but it will end and it will come crashing down very hard. Maybe it will be coupled with the crashing stock market that has been booming for forever. Now, we don't know exactly how the U.S. stock market and many of the stock markets will play out. Maybe they don't come down only because so much overprinting is happening. Even though the true value of those stocks has come down, the dollar price doesn't. We don't know how that will play out. But every cycle, when the bull run is happening, guess what the people say? Oh, this bull run is different. There's not going to be a crypto winter or a bear market after this. Guess what always still happens? A bear market or crypto winter. Now, many of you just survived the past 3 months of what I call a mini bear market. Got kind of boring, didn't it? The following bear market, after a really big run, is going to be pretty boring. So I'm looking for ways to make it fun so that it'll be easier to stick around. Because sticking around is where you make some of your very best decisions. Everything is usually on sale. And so then if you're really applying the principles that we talk about and buying low on solid long-term plays, that's your best chance to make your first million. Now, who knows? You could get lucky this cycle, or depending on how much you are able to invest and you pick something that 10x's or 15x, or you pick multiple things and your average accumulation is 20x and you had put $50,000 in, well, there you go. That's your first million. Until the tax authorities take some of it, but at least you hit your first million in gains. That's amazing. Will it happen? I don't know. Could it happen? Yes. But your chances of making the wealth that you're looking for happen over 5 years on that, because why stop at $1 million? Is $1 million truly life-changing wealth for you? Well, it depends on where you live. If you live in France and you need to pay $900,000 US for a 3-bedroom flat, because you're in Paris, well, that's not life-changing wealth. That did buy you a home, but now you have to pay property taxes on it. Now, if you're in the Philippines and $1 million and you bought your house for a really nice house for $50,000, and you bought some vehicles and you invested the rest passively so that your income per month is $5,000 passively, well, yes, $1 million created life-changing wealth for you. All right. So again, I have this wrap for you. Now, this wrap for you is done by Charlie, a rapper out of the UK, and I wrote the words and he produced them. He did make some slight tweaks to the words just to make it flow better, and that's what his specialty is. So I love what he's put together. And then Seth, one of our community, Seth, he Sethified this and he added in his flavor to it. So you don't have to stick around for the rap I put in the outro. I do recommend that you do, because these principles just take a while to soak in, which is why I put the rap together, and I wanted these specific words in there because they just reinforce the message. And my hope is actually provide a way that we put this rap in an NFT or something easily playable for you, so you can just actually listen to the words over and over again if you're new to investing. Now, if you're experienced investing and these are all, old news for you, that's great. So this is a lot. I did this a lot for the new people out there that are trying to learn these principles and understand them, and the words highly correlate with these principles. So Hope you enjoy it. Thank you, Seth, for your remastered mix that I love. And we will see you next time. But I look forward to you telling me about the results you've had so far. If you do, share them in the comments below. Probably your name is somewhat anonymous, or you can join our Telegram chat, put them in there. Also, if you haven't already, would you do us a huge favor and like the video and subscribe to the channel, especially with all the bell notifications on, so you get the very latest up-to-date information, because some of the stuff I share is extremely time relevant. Thanks so much.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, you buy before you could. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I sit the one out cause I'm patient like that, and I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't lead with my heart. Principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. As when I was selling, go parabolic then dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. The time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge to gain. Show, sticking out this run cause soon will come a bear market. We're learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. I'm sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.